You combined Rocky. You combined three movies in one.
It's from the guy. It's from the guy. Get off my lawn. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
And this is Ito.
And we are the
Carbonation Conversation.
Reviewing HBO's True Detective, Episode 2.
Night Country.
Now, before we get into that, do not forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell. As we look forward, and we are excited about the likes, we are excited about the followers. I think the last time I said we went from 9 to 16. I was from 16 to 22. So hey, we're working on it, you know.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. We appreciate your support. But before I say a couple of things, I'm gonna take a happy new beer. Man, you know when you have something good and you know it's perfect, and you're just looking at it and it's just like, damn, it's perfect. And then when you touch it, it breaks.
Yeah.
That was our last review of this. We did a very thorough and phenomenal. It was beautiful.
Yes.
You know, it was like Disney.
Yes.
It went back into the vault because all you can see is us.
Yeah.
And you know, it happens. You know, the shit like that happens.
It was such
pretty
a
much
such a good damn review. It was just like,
and we
heavenly.
didn't fight.
No.
We hugged and we apologized. We even ate a couple of slices of pizza on video. You know, we didn't do all of that shit.
I was like, what? I didn't get pizza.
Who brought the pizza? It's like, yeah, that came after you and Mo left. I was just like eating pizza on camera.
Yeah, but who fucked it up though?
I think that was me. I think it was me.
Yeah, I'm glad you took that.
I do think it was me. I think my mic wasn't on. I know sometimes, like when I have this mic, it kind of spins, so I don't know if it was opposite, and when I put it on, it cut off. But I do see us on the sub recorder, so we're all good. And obviously, we're going to try to do our best and keep that chemistry and magic and that pizzazz that we had in episode 2. But we won't deny that this is a little bit of a disappointment. This one hurt.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on. So, what did you think about episode 2 again?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Again.
I thought it was very solid. Reminded me of just like those old school detective shows.
Yeah.
This is a detective show, but it just reminded me of just looking in the details. And although a lot of stuff did happen, it was kind of slow, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It's like, after the first season was the best season, and the second and third were okay. They're decent. So this is now living up kind of to that first season, and it kind of like starting to match up and stuff too.
Yes, and although I don't want to go off of every point we talked about last time, I do want to bring up one, and that is the fact that 30 Days of Night, people see things, or people at least think they see things, and because they think they see things, they go, that's probably a ghosty over there.
Yeah.
Now let me go.
That's normal around here.
Yeah, exactly. Could you live?
No.
I can hell no.
No.
I need light.
I'd rather have 30 days of light.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
And that happens over there too.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Man.
There was that movie Insomnia.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know. I think the sunlight would probably drive me crazy, but there's always, the
cover.
black
Like you can cover.
and
You can't
like
fake sunlight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True. Yeah, that is true. So let's get into it. The scene opens up where it left off at the end of season 1.
Yeah, the crime scene.
Season 1, episode 1, where we got the corpsicles. They're all frozen.
Yeah.
And then we also have a conversation between Rose and Navarro. So who do you want to hit first?
Yeah, we'll just go real quick with the corpsicle. First off, they swipe the forehead of one of the dead ones, and you see the spiral.
Yes,
so that's kind of a significant thing. You see a cop break one of the arms off, another one take a selfie.
Yeah,
Liz gets pissed, snaps, act fucking professional.
This is a ratchet ass police squad. Is that
For
fair?
real, yeah.
I mean, and then Hank is just like, oh, they're just blowing off some steam.
I know.
Like, hey, see this arm? But Hank is like, yeah, the boys will be boys.
Piece
like,
of shit, Hank.
Meanwhile, apparently one of the corpses is still alive.
Yes.
It does. Yeah. That was like some Resident Evil type. I didn't expect that, and I'm not a scientist, so I don't know if that's possible. But that was pretty badass.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, we get Rose and Navarro talking, and Navarro is just like, you should really go home, as the police is doing their investigation. Yeah. Because she's not really a part of the investigation yet.
Yeah, and then Rose tells her, like, you should stay away from this one. Yes. She's like, it might be connected to Annie. Like, well, you're screwed.
Yeah, and then she's just like, come see me a little bit later, and walks off. And then Navarro ends up kicking
something, and
clothes.
It turns out to be some folded clothes and boots that belong to the Corpsicle.
Exactly. The only other points I want to mention about the Corpsicle was they were in bad shape. They said they had burnt corneas, and one thing they mentioned was, how do you get that?
Yeah.
Laser or extreme heat. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And they had all types of bruising on their faces. It seemed like they were attacking each other or attacking themselves, and they're just trying to figure out what the fuck happened. So, where are we going to next? Is this when Liz gets back, or is there anything else to cover in between that scene and the next one?
But basically, the next scene is she's at the high school, and she's on the phone talking to the nurse, saying, when can I talk to him? I was like, well, he's in a coma.
Yeah, she's like,
it looked like he's gonna
amputate a lot of shit.
Yeah, we have to amputate one leg for sure, but it's not looking good. He's in the coma.
Yes, and could you imagine that pain? It has to be fucking painful. Like, I heard frostbites are excruciating. God damn, your whole body.
Yeah.
Ugh. And so she goes to the teacher, right? She sees Bryce.
Bryce, yeah.
Yes.
And basically, she empties out the class. Class is over. He's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. They all start leaving. Like, no, sit down.
Yeah, he's like, even you, Becky.
Like, even you.
I like that. I wish I've never had that happen at school. Somebody come in and just be like, class dismissed.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome. I'm just going to go up into one random grammar school, go into one class and be like, class dismissed. Yeah. And everybody runs out. They be like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
my name's Melvin Banks, and that was my job. Just leave the fucking school.
They know who she is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Small ass town. Oh, she's a sheriff.
Exactly.
Get the fuck out.
And so
basically, apparently, they've had sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Leah seems to, she seems to like being fucked.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Exactly. Hey, man. Anyways, but yes.
Jodie Foster.
Man, I was looking at some previous pictures about her. I mean, not about her, but looking at her, man, she was of her. Thank you. She was stunning. She was. Maybe stunning is too good of a word.
Yeah, I mean, she was
decent.
Good looking. Yeah, I thought she was good looking. She wasn't no J-Lo. No.
Money train.
Damn right.
But yeah, and bottom line, she asks Bryce, and she's just like, what the fuck were they doing up there?
Yeah.
And Bryce was just like, they were madmen.
Yeah, they were basically a reclusive group of madmen who spent decades studying microorganisms that could cure cancer. But he believed it would never work out because it wouldn't survive the permafrost.
Exactly. Is the permafrost the same thing in like that Eddie? I was about to say Eddie Murphy, Demolition Man, where they like unthaw? Is that permafrost?
Well, permafrost is either solid or liquid that has been frozen over 100 years, 200 years, something like that.
Okay, so it'll just be hard to extract it.
Yeah, because it's like some of the oldest permafrost is like 700,000 years old, and somewhere in Alaska, this ice is fucking old as hell.
Yes,
and it carries bacteria. So they have to go through that ice to get this microorganism. As they're pulling it out, all that permafrost is melting and giving bacteria to it, so it doesn't survive.
It's not good. Yeah, it needs to be in its natural state.
Right.
Well, see, that's some shit that's probably just gonna kill everybody. I'm just saying. I know you thinking that it's gonna cure cancer, but what happens if it's the opposite?
They on some other shit though. Cause I still got Clark in my head about. She's awake.
I know, man. Like, and even Rose in the first episode, like this, see right here, and Ennis,
yeah.
This is where things got made.
Like it's nothing. So now we go to Navarro with Rose.
Yes.
And this is where we find out that I guess we made a mistake in episode 1 thinking Travis was her son, and she talking about she over here fucking Travis.
Yes, exactly. And I also made a mistake with the actor named Clark. Thought he was old boy the Hound from Game of Thrones. Totally.
And you were wrong.
And and when I looked up the movies, I was like, and I don't even know where I got that from because I don't recognize you now from anything.
Yeah.
So, but yes, Rose specifically talks about the 3 deaths.
What are 3 reasons for ghosts?
Yes, I'm sorry,
visiting
3
ghosts.
reasons of ghosts. That was 3 reasons of death. Why? 3 reasons that a ghost will visit you.
Million ways to die. Choose one.
I know. My wife loved that show, 1,000 Ways to Die. She thought that was so interesting.
Wife is crazy. No.
But yes, Rose is talking. She's like, some want to visit you to bring you a message. You know?
Either they just want to visit you, either they want to tell you something, or either they want to take you with them.
Exactly. And I do like those 3 concepts. And so as Rose is talking about Travis, she does mention that, like you said, her and Travis is in a relationship.
Yeah.
And they kind of lead us into speculating that Travis
because he was dying of leukemia, and he
Yes.
decided to take his own life. And he was like, the last thing he gave her was some croissants.
Yes.
And he was like, the last gift of Travis Cole.
And a baby.
That is supposed to be ding connection to Matthew McConaughey's character in season 1. That's supposed to be his father.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's so crazy about that is it was funny because I actually started rewatching season 1, and when the detectives are like, Woody Harrelson's character and shit, they're like, yeah, we have no, everybody says, he was from Alaska, his dad died, but we have no recollection. People haven't seen him in 30 years.
Yeah.
And so it's all cool. I'm like, okay. It's like dots started to connect, and it did get pretty cool. But yeah, that is interesting. Russ could be Travis's son. And so Navarro starts to talk to Rose about her sister because she's like, hey, how long have you been seeing things, yada yada yada, and this is what I've been experiencing with my sister. And she basically breaks it down. Navarro, she's had problems, she's been seeing things, she's tried to go to a mental institution or a hospital, had a horrible experience, which I could believe that.
Then Rose like, wait, but don't confuse, spirituality with mental illness. You know what I mean?
As like Nefarious, check out. We just posted our movie review of Nefarious. Bing! But like Nefarious also, it's a slippery slope, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to be able to say, yeah, that was real, or I am crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel bad for Navarro in that situation because Rose told she took one big hit.
Yeah, like
don't confuse. It's like but yeah,
as Navarro's leaving, Rose is like, do you recognize this? And draws a symbol on some snow on a car. And she's like, yeah, I remember I seen that, years ago, but she doesn't know what it meant.
Yes.
So she
and Rose is like, go ahead.
Go.
Oh no, she was like, it's older than Ennis, older than the ice itself.
Even the ice itself, possibly.
That killed me. That line was like,
then
really?
She even swipes it clean because she doesn't want to leave it there. Right, like fuck that. She don't want to fuck with that.
And I guess she would know because she is native and they have been there forever. There's an argument that they were the first ones there, period. You know what I mean? And so they would probably know things or symbols that have been passed. You see that symbol? Don't fuck with that symbol. You know what I'm saying?
Now, this is when Liz goes back to the station to find the captain there.
And he wants the case.
And he wants to take the case to Anchorage.
And at first, even when the first couple of scenes, Liz was like, this is a shit bowl. I don't want this fucking shit. And Peter's like, so I guess we're going to give it to him. And then she's like, yep, we're going to keep it.
We're going to keep it.
Yeah, and so she
does it on purpose just to fuck with this guy, Captain Connolly. Which we find out she fucking too.
I know, right? And he's just like, at first he even says, come on. You're just fucking with me, right? You don't want this. What do you call it? Don't you call it shit bowl, shit stain, something like that? And, you know, she basically convinces him
Yeah.
with the law.
Yeah.
You know, she's digging through her books while he's basically saying, you're going to give me this case. And she says, hey, you can't move the bodies for at least 48 hours or you may compromise the entire investigation. And he's like,
hey, information. You gave me this.
I know,
book.
you gave me. And he's like, yeah, I did. Tried to play
But where are you
it
going to
off.
keep the bodies? No.
And that's where we go.
We cut to the ice rink.
And it's her. Is
We meet
Liz's
Kate.
daughter
Huh?
named? I was about to say-
Leia is the daughter.
Okay,
yeah.
Leia is the name. I just want to make sure I
Yeah,
have it right. Okay.
Leia is playing with hockey.
Yeah, she's playing hockey.
And
Looks like
she
she's still
sees
getting it in.
Liz and she's like, oh, did you see me?
No. And she's just like, no.
And just disregarded her and
I
shit.
know.
Like, Jesus Christ.
And she spots Kate sitting down in the bleachers, and you know she kind of takes a deep breath, and she goes
and
over
Kate
there.
sees her. You see her demeanor just change.
Yeah, and I'm just like, damn, what the fuck is up with? I'm like, Liz is just a bitch. At this point, I'm just like, she's just a bitch.
Yeah.
Nobody likes her. She may be an outsider to the people there.
Yeah, apparently she fucked Kate's husband. So,
Man, that's foul, especially in a small
it's like
town.
every episode you got a little bit more Liz. Like,
Yeah, and
like,
it is-
this bitch is.
She did have some redemptive qualities. I don't know if that's a word, redemptive. Whatever. But
magical world.
I was about to say something. I was about to be no, I won't say it because then the machine will pop on. I was about to be like, hey, is this a word? And the machine would have talked about. I'm pretty sure it starts with an A. You know that machine. You bought it for us for Christmas.
I know.
So yeah, that should have been unplugged. Liz convinces Kate because of the town.
Yeah.
Kate specifically says, I'm doing this for the town.
Yeah.
To let her defrost the corpsicles
On the ice
there.
rink, yeah.
And as Kate is leaving and Navarro's coming in, Kate's like, fucking stupid bitch. I was just like, even Navarro was like, damn, she still hates you at all. And that's when they bring the corpsicle in.
Right.
Everybody's taking pictures. You know, ain't nobody seen nothing like this
and Peter's
before.
saying it looks like they were biting your hands.
Yes.
Instead of like each other's hands, which could be caused by,
Hypothermia, is it?
well, I mean, it drives you crazy,
Yes.
Whatever that word is. I can't
Yeah,
remember,
I don't know if it's hypothermia. Maybe.
Well, hypothermia can cause you to.
Causes
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. And that's tripped out that you just be so cold that you're hot.
Yeah,
That's
you're freaking
wild.
out and you just start fucking biting yourself.
Yeah, that is insane, man. Ugh. And here we are living in Chicago. We cool, Our weather's pretty good sometimes. Wait 24 hours.
So far they can only identify 4 of the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is when Peter uses the phone, the face of one of them to unlock the phone.
See him having parties. They're having a good time. But we also see Clark, doing his little
So you see
shake.
they watch it. It was Melina's face and phone. And they find a video that Clark had his episode talking about she's here and the lights go out. That's the last thing you see.
Exactly. Where do you want to go from here?
They also find a handprint on a shoe, but they can't identify that.
Yes. Is this also when they figure out that the Tuttle Corporation is the one that's funding Salal? Was her and Peter talking about that at that time, or doing the actual you're not asking the right questions? I don't know about that scene.
Not
but
yet,
I do know.
not yet.
Okay, cool. Where are we going from here, sir? Because I have I have
when they interview the cleaning crew.
Yep, that's what I have,
Yeah.
literally. Okay, go from there.
And the delivery driver. So she's talking to the cleaning crew. They said they didn't really talk to them. And what else?
And she says, do you see this spiral? Like, have you ever seen this before? And one of the women is just like, I'm not really into witchcraft like that.
Yeah.
But she calls the other girl's name, which from the first episode was the one that was getting beat by the boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she said no. And I would think that maybe she knows something, although to me she had no inclination, look over or but just to ask her that, I would
like
think
maybe she would know,
knows
like she
something.
purposely asked her because she might know something about this
and
stuff.
I think maybe
I don't
she's
know
hiding
witchcraft,
a little-
but she does,
And So that
who knows?
I don't know. I don't know for sure. That may be just a theory out there. But maybe she knows something that she isn't fully.
But basically, they were just like, oh, they were acting weird. Mm-hmm. And then they talked to Peter talks to the driver, who said like Clark was one of the weirdest ones. He was talking to himself all the time.
One time he had a room.
Right. He was butt naked one time, and then when he showed the spiral, like he had a tattoo on him, just like that.
Exactly. So Clark has always been like this, and it's interesting because they've been living together for like 10 years. It's just like, oh, Clark is having one of his naked spells again, but he's a goddamn brilliant scientist.
Like it's normal to everybody.
You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine, like, you got like one of the greatest scientists in the world who just like to get butt ass naked and walk around and just be saying some shit like, she's here for like an hour straight. You'd be like, but he cured cancer a year ago. Right. Like, it's fucking weird, man.
That's funny.
And Peter's just like, oh, so you saw somebody when you were there? He's like, yeah, but it's Ennis.
It's Ennis.
I'm just going to start randomly saying that. That's just going to be added to my dictionary.
Yeah.
It's Ennis. And so I have Hank meets with his son, but I don't know if we are there yet. Okay.
This is where Navarro's driving on the road, and she drops her phone.
Listen to that Spice.
And listening to that Spice Girl.
If you want to be my lover,
you got to get with my friend.
I don't know any more of that. Friendship never ends. I don't know.
I don't want to keep going for that. I might come off a little. No.
Oh, man. That used to be the thing back in the day. It's insane.
So she ends up picking up a necklace that apparently belonged to her mom. And she had like a flashback.
A wild flash.
Of her mom having an episode and her little sister, young as hell, freaking out.
Yeah, it did not look good.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, it did not look good at
Evil
all.
Dead?
Yeah, and it really didn't look good, which explains, like, now I'm starting to think, like, damn, is Navarro the only one that has these abilities, or is it something else? Dun dun dun.
Yeah,
like,
who
you
knows
know, like
what's going on?
It seems like they all have a long history of mental illness now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it's not that. I'm really not. But yeah. So where we going? What the hell is Hazel barking for? I'm sorry, I can't ignore that. She's barking for. She's usually pretty calm in the room. But I do have Navarro meeting Liz back at the precinct. So I don't know if you have that or if.
But this is basically she had went to the diner to talk to her guy.
Yeah, you are right, because she wants to know if anybody knows or seen Clark.
Right.
Correct.
No, she goes not the guy to her Addie's brother.
Yes.
To
and
he's
at the bar.
Right.
And, you know, we see some of the miners are drinking and having a good time, and then we see some of the natives sitting there, one native looking at them particularly hard.
Yeah, she's talking to them outside, Ryan, and then a guy, Chuck, comes outside, like, why are you talking to her? And then he sees a picture of Clark, and you could tell he recognizes him.
Definitely tell that he recognizes.
She said, what do you know about this? Oh, I don't know him. And then that's when the fight breaks out. And then old boy Chuck dips off, and the sister's like, he didn't pay his bill.
Yes, you know? And the fight was just basically about the miners are basically making money for Ennis. They're providing the resources for Ennis to have
But apparently
schools,
their mining is poisoning the water.
Exactly,
and shit like that.
and one of the things that the guy was saying was, you're basically poisoning your own kids.
Yeah.
How can you do this? And
so then this is after that, Navarro, that's what she picks up the necklace, and then she goes to see Chuck to tell him, like, hey, I know you recognized him. I will arrest your ass for skipping out on your bill if you don't tell me shit. So he tells her that her Clark bought a trailer off his cousin that was called the Golden Eagle.
Yes, and basically that was like 7 years ago, right? I believe it was 7 years ago he sold that trailer.
Yeah, something like that. Six, 7 years
I'll
ago.
take a shot if I'm wrong the next
You
episode.
just want to take a shot.
Actually, I kind of do. But you know what? I'm gonna hold off. But yes, and Sorry, you go. I had a little burpee there.
This is when we go to Hank, who's texting his Russian girlfriend, who's asking him for money.
Yeah, and he
And
deserves
then,
it.
and he asks him to take some pictures. So he goes to look for some pictures, I guess, and realize the file was gone that Peter took. Mm-hmm. So he's a little upset.
Yes, and he smacks the dog shit out of Peter. He even gives him that backhand like
Bam!
I was like, damn.
Boy!
I know. Oh, the way you said that, you had some feeling in that shit.
Boy!
I know it was. I was like, damn.
I had a flashback, but I'm sorry,
Yeah.
And I was a kid. Boy! Bam!
Oh man, yeah. He's just like, don't you ever fucking steal from me again. Even your mama didn't steal, and she left us.
Get your priorities straight.
No.
Your family or this bitch.
I know, man. I was just like, whoa. Time out, Hank. Jesus. And Peter was just sitting there looking off like a hurt puppy. You actually felt bad for Peter.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
So this is when we find out about the Tuttle family.
Yes, because Peter and Liz, they're doing their detective mode.
Right. So they realize the Tuttle United is one funding the Salal station.
Yes.
And they're from season 1,
Exactly.
who was funding the damn cult.
Yes.
Doing all these killings, you know.
Yeah. So.
And then now the spirals over here, you know what I mean? So there's some kind of connection.
Yeah, they're
again.
definitely connecting both of the, this season, especially with season 1. And, they're doing their investigative work. They're asking questions like, was the spiral on before he died or after he died?
Right.
Why would they run naked? What was it? What could have been a bear that busted in?
Yeah. Why was the clothes folded?
Exactly. And the conclusion that they seem to come up with is this was a murder. There was a killer. They didn't just run out into the snow and just die.
Exactly.
So Liz got a little pep in her step. She's like, all right now, we're getting to it, but we still aren't asking the right questions. So I definitely like that.
The Peter actually asked her too about like what's up with you and Navarro, and she brushes it off, and she was just like, don't mess up.
Yeah.
And,
does she tell them?
No, that's the next episode.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I was just curious, so I was starting to blend in, so I didn't want to be like. And then she said, and you'd be like, Melvin, no. No. But yeah, and this is what I have, and again, I have Liz calling the tattoo shop.
Did that happen already?
I don't know. On your notes, because I know you got way more detailed notes than me. I mostly have highlight points.
If you want to talk about that, I know I'm thinking about when Peter, like she left Peter to watch a corpsicle.
Yes.
And he was supposed to go tuck his son in bed.
Yep.
And then she goes pick up Leia from his house.
Yep.
And she, he gets there. His wife's on the phone with him, disappointed he's not going to be there.
And she walks in and she sees her daughter with Liz's mom.
No,
I mean Peter's wife's mom.
Peter's wife's mom, right?
Yes, and she is
putting the tribal marks on her chin.
And fucking
and Liz goes the fuck off.
Okay, I thought your husband was
low key, like that part. I kind of lost him. Like, come on, Liz. Like,
it's
it's what you said. Like, there are points where like she's dope.
Yeah.
And there's some points they're like,
she got some
why are you being so rude?
Bitch,
Like,
unredeemable ass.
Like, you laundry grandma.
I know. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Laundry bag grandma. I was like, what?
Jesus. There's a laundromat.
That was the best thing you could come up with. No.
And of course, I'm pretty sure Leia's gonna get that shit permanently done. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she's gonna get that shit permanently done after that shit.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
At home now, this is when Leia sneaks out to go to meet with her girlfriend while Liz puts up the Christmas tree.
Yes, and we got probably a really good detailed flashback because she's going through the boxes and she opens a box and she sees her son's teddy bear. And we do get a really, really good scene, and we also understand why she hates that fucking song. Twist and Shout. Because she was listening to it usually when she was playing with her son. May have been his favorite song, which I could see. It is a nice little kid song, Alvin and the Chipmunks and all. And obviously she puts up the tree. And doesn't Leia goes to see her boo thing, and her boo thing, what does she do automatically? That looks so nice. It looks amazing.
Yeah, right.
That thing. I'm like, oh yeah, she definitely getting that.
Yeah,
tattoo.
right.
She is definitely getting it by the end of this season. I don't know. Okay, what do you have? Because again, your notes are a little bit more.
When Liz goes fucks the captain.
I was so funny. I had that. I was like, Liz fucks the captain. It was so funny. And she opens the door. He's just like, so you fuck me, and now you actually want to fuck me. And she's just like, so you don't want it?
So you don't want it?
And they do and they do the deed. And it was a little freaky, naughty, hot scene. You know,
freaking naughty.
I know Jodie Foster still got it. But the bottom line, the captain is pissed about her taking the case, and he doesn't think that she can do it.
Yeah.
He almost
kind of still, she buys a couple more days.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly. So she leaves the house storming off and gets in the car. Fucking asshole. Like, oh my God. So what do you have? I'm just gonna go from you from here on out, sir.
You want to talk about when you said we were talking about when she called a tattoo?
Yeah, because that's what I have.
She
calls a tattoo artist, and she briefly discusses what was going on with Clark, if he said the symbol meant anything, and she just said he was just crying a lot. But she'll send him a picture of the original work he gave her, and the original work he gave her was with her and Clark looking all happy and seductive and shit.
Yeah, well, it was just him, this is me doing the tattoo, and this was the model it came from.
Exactly.
And it turned out to be Annie K.
Mm-hmm. And while she's doing this, isn't she going through Clark's book too?
Yeah,
like his notebook and shit?
Yeah, then afterwards, I believe so, but I don't think we get to that yet.
Okay. I was just curious. I didn't know if that was the same scenes. What do you got next, sir?
Navarro tries to, that's when Navarro comes. And she goes to Navarro.
Yes,
it tells her about the tattoo, that the tongue does belong to Annie and all that.
And
basically, she's like, bring groceries and
stuff
too.
What's so curious about that is she knows where shit goes.
Yeah, because she's like, hey, didn't you put this here before or something?
Yeah, so I was just like, well, since Liz is fucking everybody, were they fucking?
Right.
That's what I was like, did they have a little hotness going on there? And Liz does kind of throw Navarro a bone, kind of. She's like, well, you know everything about Annie, so I figured you could join the team.
And so like Navarro trying to make peace, and she's like, well, brings up the Wheeler case.
Yes.
And then Liz shuts her down. Like, no, we just doing this shit, and then we're through.
Yes, ain't no use to bringing up skeletons in the closet. Bitch. Yeah. And so is that when Navarro goes back to her homie, who she is messing around with? And
we go to Liz. Leia visits Peter at the ice rink.
This was actually. Can we take a shot to this scene? I really, really like this scene. Peter. Next episode, I'm gonna find an actor who does him because he is really, really good. I am afraid he's gonna die. I am so afraid.
Really?
Yes, I do think he's gonna die by the end of this series, to teach people a lesson, just everybody, because he's like the most purest person next to Leia.
Don't be pure.
I know, right? Like, I mean,
be a select. No. Be a dirty select.
Oh my God, you dirty whore. Anyways. But
you say you want to do a shout out?
I really. Okay, I just didn't want to make sure I wasn't gonna knock it over. I really love this scene because Leia talks about how her mom used to dance, her and her dad used to have a good time. We get another flashback, and Jodie Foster, once again, phenomenal female actress, because it's like night and day, that flashback. She's like a totally different fucking person. Just in that like 3 seconds of her dancing.
You actually see her happy.
Yes, and Peter talks about how his dad, he wanted to be in a band, but his wife shut that down.
They even smoked weed together.
Yeah, and basically the conclusion that Peter had was almost to a certain line of like, you don't get over people not believing in you or not having your back, or not loving you, it does stick with you and it shapes who you are. Right. Because Hank is a bitter ass motherfucker. I mean, goddamn, him and Liz should just get a house, right? At this point,
there's something about them they haven't said yet. You know what I mean? Something going on between them.
You think
maybe in the past? Who knows?
You think Peter?
But I feel like she maybe it's just something like she can't get rid of him. She can't fire him or something. Yeah. Like he's protected.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he was probably the one in charge before she came because he's the one that took Navarro off the case type thing. So I'm like, did she take his job and blah blah blah? There's something.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So this is when Navarro shows up and scares her boyfriend Eddie.
Yeah, he got the light, he got the candles
chilling
on,
and all that.
It's so funny.
Got that hard ass Canadian accent.
I was just telling my wife recently how I miss taking baths. I've taken showers for like the last 6 years, but like first years of my existence, I was a bath guy. Fucking Kramer and Seinfeld. I love fucking baths. And now showers.
Soak in your own dirty mess.
Man, you can put some Epsom salt in there, soak them bones, man. Anyways, but
you need that now, don't you? No.
I know, right? Maybe I'll update the carbonation of my condition.
She's all pissed because she didn't know about Clark.
How did
you not know? Right.
And I didn't even know she had a man.
And she's talking to him while he's cooking pancakes, and she's like, Liz would say, ask the right questions. And just her saying that made her ask the right question and realized, like, where would you put a trailer?
Yeah, how did they keep it a secret this long?
Then it's like, oh, the fucking Nook.
The Nook. I like that. Yeah. And then you go over there, and then you see trailers there, all a couple of trailers out there, so people could be bone chicken wanting in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then she sees this snowed-in trailer. She wipes it, she steps in, and she takes a few steps, and then she just calls Liz. And you're just like, you got to come over here and see this. But
this is when Liz is looking through the journal.
Yes, and do you have any specific notes other than she's awake in the journal? I was just curious.
Oh, yeah. So I've got a few lines.
Okay, go ahead. Lay it on me.
It's like, in the journal, she sees shit like, her eyes, her face, so dark. Never, ever say her name. Her fingers cold, her face, her eyes cold. I can feel her moving outside. I can hear her calling. I can hear her cold. Never sleep, never forget, and coming always.
Sounds like a fucking demon.
And it's like you see drawings of like with like her eyes colored like black eyes or something like that.
Very interesting. Again, sounds like a fucking demon. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like some crazy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for him to go crazy like that, mumbling. So it's like it's got to be like maybe he's one that has sees these visions and sees ghosts.
Maybe he was just like, you know what? Let me just cut one of this piece of ice and melt it and drink it. It's like
permafrost.
I know, right? I mean, it's but yeah, and
so this is when she gets the call from Navarro and they meet at the trailer. Mm-hmm. They go in there,
and it is a fucking Blair Witch trailer.
Like, what the fuck? The animal bones, voodoo-looking dolls.
Yes.
There's a shrine to Amy with some dummy on the bed. And then up on top, you see the spiral.
Yeah, I swear I thought that was like a live person because I
thought
that
too.
was the other person.
The fuck?
I was like, who? I thought that was Clark, like he was just there, but he died and shit.
Yeah.
And then I took, I had to widen my eyelids and shit, and I was like, oh shit, that's like a fucking shrine. You usually don't see shrines laying down. You know what I mean?
You see some stuff, some words in the trailer as well, talking about all gone, come back, and no, you don't go.
And then they look up in the trailer ceiling, and then they see the big ass spiral.
Right. Then they get a call from Peter to come to the rink, and then the icicle has melted up. Corpsicle has melted enough to where they could say there's only 6 bodies. Clark is missing.
Yes, and the director. I think it was 8 total. So they got 6 bodies. Clark was missing, and the director.
No.
Oh no, the director's not missing. Director's in the hospital.
Lund. Yeah, Lund's in the hospital.
Yeah, he's in the hospital. My bad. That was my mistake. But yeah, this is interesting. It does kind of do the pan out after Navarro's like, Clark, he's alive, and he's still out there, and then it does the wide pan out, which I thought was cheesy as fuck. I wasn't a fan of that. I'm being honest. But yeah,
Melvin.
This episode was very, very good. I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, me too.
Who is your standout? Should we let Mo pick the standout and we just take the shots? Mo, you want to pick the standout? Who'd you like in episode 2? You kind of giving us that weird look there. You all right there? You don't have to take one.
You gotta look like you gotta take a shit.
I think he thought he had to take a shot.
I mean, low key, like Navarro, because I like how the story's building on her.
Yes.
And slowly, like, she has that, like, I'm rookie vibe because, like, she's, like, hot-headed.
Yeah.
But it's usually that character that has, like, the pure intention. So, like, Navarro, like, on the second episode, like, came off dope. And then the Jodie Foster's character, I'm just, like, I can't like her or hate her yet, but she is dope, though. She's snapping.
Yes.
But Navarro definitely.
Okay, we're going to take a shout out to Navarro. And also, she is like a 6-time boxing champion in real life.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
That was like the one other movie I saw. It was some fighting movie.
Yeah. Just impressive.
Navarro. I'd hit. No.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know what you were saying about that. I was like,
I agree.
I wonder if that's that movie you're talking about with the white girl boxer, and then old girl gets a cheap shot on her and paralyzes her from the neck down.
I don't know.
And the trainer has to kill her. Yeah, I spoiled that movie.
What movie?
It's
What the fuck? Right.
Yeah, you know
You
that
spoiled,
movie.
you just spoiled it.
I feel like you combine
Million Dollar Baby.
Million Dollar Baby.
Oh, Million
and,
Dollar
I think
Baby.
it was Million
Never
Dollar Baby
Back
with
Down.
That wasn't it.
You combined Rocky. You combined
No.
three movies in one.
It's from the guy. It's from the guy. Get off my lawn. He
I know.
made the movie.
Oh,
when he was
Clint
the
Eastwood?
trainer.
Million Dollar
Clint
Baby.
Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, that is Million Dollar Baby.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's not her. I don't think she's in that.
Oh, I thought she was the black boxer.
No, this
going
was
against-
that. She's
Melvin is
too young to like.
Yeah,
That's a movie
fine.
made a while back.
All right. I mean, yeah, it was worth a try. You said boxing, so I was like, oh, maybe it's that movie.
Yeah, that baby was made how long ago?
I don't fucking remember. You know?
Jesus.
Hey, don't be Jesus in me. I
Jesus,
didn't know.
man.
I was about to do my thing. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, what did you score it? I said, what did I say?
Yeah, 9.
Okay.
We'll give it a 9.
Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
And this is Ito.
And we are the
Carbonation
Carbonation Conversation Reviewed. True Detective.
Part 2.
And before we get off, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out not only our full videos, but if you don't have time, we know, Melvin talks a lot. These videos sometimes get long, but we do cut them up into shorts. We're starting to bring those out.
Because you a bitch.
See, I was trying to explain some. Anyways, thanks to Mo, we're able to, kind of dice up our episodes, and please give us some feedback with your comments and likes to how you like it as we plow our carbonation beer truck to 1,000 subscribers. And as always, shout out to Mo Beats in the background, who is getting way more comfortable on the mic, if you've noticed, right?
Yeah, they're getting me a little more drunk. So I'm getting closer to the mic.
And as always, guys, don't drink and drive.
Drink, and bye.
Peace.